When we think declutter, we often think time commitment. And while it would be nice to have a big chunk of time to spend getting our homes free of clutter, it's not always realistic. Today, I'm sharing 6 places that you can declutter quickly right now. What I love about these is that often they will give us the momentum that we need to do a little bit more, and often the courage to tackle bigger and harder areas. I'm also going to give you a question you can ask yourself to help you declutter each area. Number 1, the fridge. Even an organized person may be surprised at what expired or never used condiments are lurking in the fridge. Going through the fridge can be quick, it can free up space, and it will let you know what you already have. I'm often surprised at the things we become almost clutter blind to in our fridge. It's often the things that we see so often that we forget that we're not using them, or we don't realize that they're expired. Or maybe you have so much in your fridge that you can't see everything that you have, and so you have items that need to be used up. If you're like me, sometimes I buy something and I end up loving it, so I buy another one. And then I don't end up using them before they go bad. One of the things that I love most about using the fridge as a place to start decluttering is that there is usually no sentimental attachment to the food. You don't save it in case you need it next year, and you don't save it because someone gave it to you and you want to keep it forever. If you are having a hard time, start with the things that are obviously bad. Old leftovers and expired condiments are great places to start, and then move from there to the things that you don't use, things that you bought to try but didn't like, or ingredients you bought to make something that you just aren't going to get around to. If you do have some things that you just can't part with, consider writing a date on them and even marking a line on the outside of the bottle to show how much is currently there. Then when that date comes, if you see you haven't used any or haven't used very much, you'll know it's okay to part with that item. A question you could use for the fridge for items you aren't sure about is, when would I really want to use this? Not what could I use this for, but when would I really want to use this? Answering this question honestly will help you to see which items you just won't use. Number 2, towels. How many of us have more towels than we could ever need or use? I remember vividly, almost 9 years ago, I was pregnant with my first baby. I was organizing our linen cupboard in our townhouse. I remember being frustrated because I couldn't fit all of the towels exactly how I wanted them, all on the same long shelf. We had at least 16 towels, maybe even more, but we easily had more than what we needed or could even use for just my husband and I. And that was to say nothing of the fact that we'd already gotten our baby his own towel. If I had known then what I know now, or rather didn't realize then, I would have decluttered most of those towels. Later on, we even had to install a shelf in our guest bathroom to give the towels their own home. Towels are also an area that will be easy and go quickly because towels usually aren't an item with sentimental attachments. What we have found that works well for us is currently we have 2 full-size towels for each person in the house, plus an extra one for a guest for a total of 11 towels. This has been the right amount for the 5 of us because even on days when we go swimming or have to use a towel to clean up a mess, we still have a towel for each person. The question you can ask yourself here is, how many towels would we realistically use in the course of a week? From there, you can figure out how often you want to have to do laundry to wash these towels. Now, this question is specifically for full-size towels, but you could also use it to figure out how many kitchen towels, hand towels, rags, dishcloths, whatever kind of towel that you'd need. Number 3, hygiene or beauty products. How many times do we have a soap that we don't really like but someone gifted us? Or maybe we have lotion that we don't like the smell or feel of, or makeup that we don't use anymore because it's just not quite the right shade. Or maybe it's a fingernail polish that always chips, so we hate using it. Decluttering these items can make a big impact, especially if you store these items with the things that you use to get ready each day. If you face this area with an objective perspective, as in, what do I actually use and what do I not use? It will make it a lot easier. A question I like to use when decluttering a space like this, when I come to an item that I'm having a hard time with, is this. If I didn't already own this item, what would I be willing to pay to acquire this item? Answering this question honestly, most of the time I realize, if given the chance to reacquire this item, I would not be willing to pay anything, and it becomes easy to let it go. Number 4, your purse or wallet. Earlier this year, I was getting ready to go on vacation and I needed to clean out my wallet so it wasn't as full. I pulled out a store credit card that I hadn't used in over a decade. a library card from a city in which I no longer live, and a rewards card for a store I no longer shop at. It was a long overdue purge, and one that made me realize I don't even need as big of a wallet. If you're hung up on things that you might need in your wallet, focus on what you can get rid of. Receipts for items that you're not going to return, rewards cards for stores that have closed down or that you no longer shop at, old insurance cards, or even expired coupons are good places to start. A question you could ask yourself here is simply, do I really still need this? Answering this question honestly will most likely help you clear out a lot of the items that are cluttering up your purse or wallet. Number 5, cleaning products. I don't know about you, but with YouTube Clean With Me videos being so popular, I was always looking for something that was going to be my magic bullet for cleaning my home. Some product that is going to make my cleaning routine even easier. But I have found that there is so much truth in what author Victoria Erickson said. Consistency is an underappreciated form of intentional magic disguised as mundane doing. I take this to mean that for me, what packs a punch with cleaning is cleaning things regularly and staying on top of the cleaning in my home. I've shared before that I use a cleaning schedule. This has helped me stay on top of the areas in my home so that nothing is getting neglected for long periods of time. I found that finding an all-purpose cleaner that successfully cleans multiple areas also helps immensely on cutting down the clutter in cleaning products. I'm a firm believer that once you find a few tried and true cleaning products, you don't need much more than that. Number 5, the medicine cabinet. This is one that is overlooked a lot at our house because we aren't in this unless someone is sick. We do have vitamins that we take daily, but we keep those separate. The first thing that I like to do, which is part of what makes this so easy, is to look first for expired medications. Some medicines don't necessarily go bad after their expiration date, but they aren't as potent or as effective. For me, one of the questions I've begun asking myself when cleaning out my medicine box is this: if I needed this medication, would I want to take it? For example, my kids had an eye infection 2 years ago. Their pediatrician had prescribed some eye drops and recommended that we keep them on hand in case they needed them again later. Almost exactly 2 years later, they got the same eye infection. After taking them to their pediatrician, they were again prescribed the same drops as last time. Before filling the prescription, I got my medicine box down and I noticed that the drops from 2 years earlier were expired. Do I want to give my kids drops that may not be as effective, especially when it comes to their eyes? No, I want them to get better. So while it was a good thought, I'm just going to dispose of the drops once they're expired. So the question you can ask yourself while decluttering your medicine cabinet is this: if I needed this medication, would I want to take it? This can apply to medicines that are expired, but it can also apply to any that are sitting there and getting passed by every time you are sick. This last one is not a specific place, but rather an invitation for you to look around and declutter anything that always gets in your way or anything that you don't want to have to take care of anymore. Maybe it's a rug that you always trip on or a plant that you always have to water but hate having to do so. Or just anything that takes more than it gives. A viewer wrote me and told me that she had recently decluttered her couch pillows. She always had to move them in order for herself or guests to be able to sit comfortably on the couch. They always needed to be perfectly arranged in order to look good. So she donated them. And she found herself standing in the doorway of her living room, admiring just how clean the space looked without the couch pillows. So find an area like that for yourself. Even if it's not your couch pillows, what can make your life a little bit easier and a little bit cleaner? These are just some of my favorite top places to declutter quickly that will not only make these spaces function so much better, but often doing a quick decluttering project will give you the courage and the momentum to tackle a more daunting space. If you need more decluttering motivation and you haven't heard about my Less is More in 24 decluttering challenge, we are decluttering one item every single day for the year. It is not too late to jump in and start decluttering one item every single day. In fact, if you start today, you can still declutter over 300 items this year. That is a huge win. If you're already participating in my challenge, I would love to hear how it's going for you. What areas have been improved by decluttering one item every single day? I'd love to hear from you as to what areas you are going to tackle to give you momentum. Thanks for watching, friends. Have a great day.